New this morning, local mental health officials say they have seen more teens and youth reaching out for mental health help.
In addition, they're also seeing them use marijuana as a coping mechanism, and that concerns them. McHenry County in Illinois requires dispensaries to include warning labels about how increased use may contribute to mental health problems. WGEM's Ryan Hill joins us with more on their concerns. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. Now, medical studies have found that frequent marijuana use can have negative effects on youth's mental health. Now, Trey Sexton was the lead substance abuse counselor at Transitions, and he worked with a lot of teens and young adults. He says back then and even now, teens would use either alcohol as well as marijuana to cope with feelings of anxiety and depression. He says they tend to use marijuana more because it tended to uplift them. He says using it at first, he says some clients felt it helped relieve their symptoms of anxiety or depression, but using it frequently to cope with those feelings causes bigger problems for them down the road.
What ends up happening is we tend to have a sort of rebound anxiety when we come off the drug. So you can imagine it like throwing a blanket over your anxiety sort of thing. Then every time you have anxiety and you smoke, you're kind of sweeping more and more under that blanket.
He says when doing therapy, they want people to come in sober so they can truly express their emotions. He says numbing them with marijuana or other substances just builds them up. Then down the line, if they stop, it causes those emotions to become extreme, which could lead to rash thoughts. He says people shouldn't have to worry about being vulnerable via therapy, and that it's important to find healthier ways to deal with mental health problems that you can use along with therapy. Back to you, Natalie.
Ryan, thank you. Sexton says some ways for dealing with anxiety and mental health aside from therapy can include getting some sunshine, exercising, or doing breathing exercises. You can also talk to a therapist for advice. If you feel like you need mental health or substance abuse help, you can call Transitions, the number 217-223-0413. We also have that on our website at WGEM.com.